You know, I don't know what they paid the lead actress in this film, but I hope her butt at least got paid scale. It's a nice butt. Fucking bitch.
Women always have to put up a fight.
Hey everybody, Lindsay here, and this is my review for Revenge. When I first saw the previews for this movie, I was excited. It looked cool, it looked stylish, it looked fun, and violent as hell and gory. And then I watched it. It is very stylized, it's very bloody, it's very violent, but it's not necessarily got that cool factor to it. And it also has a lot of pacing problems. There were large chunks of this movie where I became very disinterested and kind of bored. Even though there's a ton of crazy shit going on the screen, it just wasn't engaging for me. The basic storyline, and it is very basic, it's a very simple story, a story that's been told before, is this rich millionaire brings his mistress out to this desert getaway. He's got this gorgeous house in the middle of nowhere. And while him and his mistress are there having fun, two of his hunting buddies show up. And while he is in town on some business, one of the hunting buddies decides to rape his mistress. And when he gets back, he thinks that this is gonna come out and ruin his marriage or whatever his motivations were. He did not want this affair to get out, and so they decide to kill her, and they push her over a cliff, and miraculously she survives. And as they go to try to finish her off, she instead turns the tables on them and hunts them down one by one. I must say the first act of the film was extremely well done. The pacing was well done, the cinematography was great, the music was great, the majority of the acting was good. And the visuals were very engaging. There's a lot of visuals of penetration in this film, whether it's penetrating the skin of an apple, it's the tree penetrating through her stomach, and it's the penetration during the sexual assault. This movie is filled with symbolic images. After she gets herself off of the tree, she still has a bit of it stuck inside of her, so she goes to a cave and starts hallucinating and cuts it out of her and uses an empty beer can that she's cut open and flattened out to cauterize the wound. And when she does that, the imprint of the beer can burns onto her stomach, and it's this image of a phoenix bird. So you have this symbolism of a phoenix rising from the ashes. But probably my favorite symbolism in this film, and I don't know if this is what they were going for or if it's just my lit degree working overtime, but the use of color. Because this film is set in the desert, there are certain colors that they use that really stand out from the setting. Those two colors are a neon pink and a neon blue. And what those two things symbolize is femininity and masculinity. And they use those in the glass on the house. They use it in her earrings, they use it on his motorcycle jacket. It's all over the place. Another thing that they do very well in this film is showing all these hyper-masculine images, most notably the stuff that's on the TV. You see wrestling, you see Formula One racing, hyper-violent, hyper-masculine, and that plays into the overall theme of the film, which is man versus woman. As far as the acting goes, the three guys were okay. I thought the main guy, he was pretty good. He spoke French throughout most of it. Matilda Lutz, who plays the mistress, is very good up to a point. Once she gets to the cave, she kind of loses me. For a while there, her hair gets darker, which again is another symbol, because she was bright bleach blonde, and then after she leaves the cave, all of a sudden it's very, very dark. And she looked a lot like Miley Cyrus to me. and that just kind of threw me off. I really liked the gore and the violence in the film. There was so much blood in this film. So much blood. Blood everywhere. There was an over-exaggeration of blood. I mean, there's no way a human being could dump that much blood out of their body and still be walking around or even living, but it adds to the style of the film and it completely works. If I had to describe this film to anyone, I would probably say it's I Spit on Your Grave meets The Bad Batch. The storyline is very much I Spit on Your Grave, and the style is very much The Bad Batch, or at least that's what it reminded me of. The desert shots at night, some of the POV, the motorcycle, all that kind of stuff. I don't think this film lives up to the hype as much as other films like this have. The death scenes aren't as shocking as I thought they were going to be. They're very bloody and they're very graphic, but usually in a film of this type there's mutilation going on and torture going on, and there really wasn't any of that in this. Pretty much the way she dispatched these three men was she stabbed one of them in the eyes, which was cool, and then the other two she took out with a gun. Overall, I think this film was trying very hard and just didn't quite make it. I enjoyed watching it. It's fun, it's bloody, it's violent, and it looks gorgeous. But other than that, I don't think this film really has much going for it. So if you like highly stylized, violent films that are a little more style than substance, then go ahead and watch this movie. I think it's pretty forgettable, in my opinion. Also, there are a shit ton of movies called Revenge. A lot. The only other one I'd heard of is the one with Madeline Stowe and Kevin Costner. It's really good, you should check it out. That's gonna do it for this review. This is Lindsay signing off. I'll check you later.